welcome to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. I'm your host. My name is Precious Mzea Sakaleji, and yes, of course, joining me on set is Michael Chota. Good morning.
Good morning, Precious. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Isaac misbehaved.
Just the quarter.
Yeah, he just decided to. Yeah.
Nice surprise.
Surprise! Anyway, how have you been?
I've been good, Precious. How are you?
I'm good.
You look good, may I say? You look very nice. The hair.
I know.
Very nice.
I know you were supposed to say it yesterday, but then your pride just got to you.
Something like that, yeah.
You needed a little push from Isaac. I understand.
Thank you, Mr. Chifita. Thank you.
But anyway, getting into it, how has been your week?
The week has been good, very productive.
Anything that caught your attention?
Yeah, the UN General Assembly. I think that was the main thing. It was exciting.
The president's speech, what he says he wants to do for the country and expectations from him. On social media, I actually saw something from Madam Hillary Clinton, who she posted how she was amazed by the Republican president, congratulating him and also looking forward to future projects. And also the president has been making rounds on social media on different people's statuses, Twitter and Facebook to be specific, WhatsApp as well, how they're just amazed at what the man says.
Yes, very eloquent, very...
Yes, very vocal, and we're just looking forward to certain things that have been said will be done, just them getting implemented.
Definitely.
And also one thing that actually caught my attention is there are two things. One of them is removing immunity from the former Republican president, Edgar Lungu, which is our topic of discussion today, and also why some stakeholders or political party members or unnamed political party were saying that National Day of Prayer and Fasting was actually a political event, so it should be scrapped off because there are no people that can handle the event. I was very disappointed to hear that, considering the fact that the first one, that when it was just declared that 18th October is National Day of Prayer and Fasting, I was impressed of the turnout that was there at the Lusaka showgrounds. But then after the former Republican president was removed from the seat, now people are saying that the event should also be scrapped off. I think it would actually be a good idea to discuss both topics. Do you think the National Day of Prayer and Fasting event should be removed? And also, what do you think about removing former Republican President Edgar Lungu's immunity? Just on the second topic, we'll be having someone that will be coming through to just have a discussion on that topic. So I'm throwing the questions to you.
Definitely.
National Day of Prayer and Fasting.
National Day of Prayer and Fasting. I mean, Zambia being a Christian nation, it's a very sentimental thing, you know, when you talk about National Day of Prayer and Fasting. Whether or not the day had other motives, we're not too sure. But personally, I think, on a lighter note, we like holidays. So to have Independence Day,
my God,
and then you have the week before, you know, for that intention, I think it's exciting.
Did you just say holiday? For me, that event, it's a souvenir for me. I have seen quite a number of people reconcile because of that particular day, be it political parties or political party members reconcile on that particular day, be it people from the community, the people that actually value this day. And I feel it would be very unfair that we're going to attach everything that was done from the previous administration as something that was political. National Day of Prayer and Fasting, we get to have different pastors. It's like, how can I put it? You get to have people from different churches. It's like one church but with different churches. You get to share the same belief and stepping on the grounds of Zambia being a Christian nation. So someone coming forth and saying it should be removed because it was introduced by the former administration is actually very unfair.
True. And I mean, just as you say, the significance of the day, I mean, it's prayer and fasting. As a Christian, these are very important values, you know. So we cannot stress how important it is that one person actually prays and fasts. And to have a day aligned, allocated for that particular ceremony, it's very important. Whether or not it will be removed, we're yet to see, but the significance of the day cannot be undone.
Personally, I feel it shouldn't be removed.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be removed.
Especially since it's in Independence Month as well.
It's like trying to find peace before you celebrate independence.
Yeah, true.
So it's like a process. I feel like it's a building process. So you come through, tell us your views and opinions. Do you think that the international, what do you call it, National Day of Prayer and Fasting should be removed or not? And also on the other side, we'll be talking about former head of state's immunity. Do you think it should be removed or not? So now getting back to these two topics, the second one, which is removing the immunity of the former Republican president so that he should actually be prosecuted for alleged crimes that have, they say, he what's the word, he committed during his term in office. That has happened before.
It has happened before.
It has happened before to the former Republican president, father of the nation, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda.
Yes.
It has happened before to former head of state, the late President Chiluba. It has happened the former head of state, Rupiah Banda.
Yeah.
So moving the immunity.
And again, on that point, this is why the UN General Assembly speech was actually quite important by President Hakainde Hichilema. He had mentioned that his government is not going to be vindictive or trying to, you know, to revenge, or, you know, they're going to leave it up to the autonomous institutions to actually implement their own investigations and everything. In terms of immunity, our president, you know, they become statesmen after they resign. So they're national treasures. It's a very interesting topic, actually.
I think they should just let it be. I feel like we get to lose a lot in the process of trying to prosecute the person than what we gain back.
Yeah,
okay,
true.
from the previous head of states whose immunity was actually removed, we recovered quite some stuff, some stuff from the former head of state. But I feel like we lost more in the process of trying to get back the things.
True.
So. We don't know. We're yet to get to that. Different political party presidents, one of them being Harry Kalaba, says the ban should be lifted on former Republican President Edgar Lungu's immunity. So you can come through. We've got two topics of discussion today. Do you think the National Day of Prayer and Fasting should be removed or not? And also, do you think that former President Edgar Lungu's immunity should be removed or not? 0968-675-5273. For now, we quickly get into a morning boost and we'll continue with the conversation on the other side. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to our morning boost in Camnet, wherever you're watching us from. If your hubby is in bed, tell them that they need to wake up. We are here to do a workout. And guess what? I have a special friend of mine. She's here to work out with me. Good morning, Chola.
Good morning, Isaac.
Great. Welcome. You ready?
Yep.
We're going to do a warm-up and then a workout. Let's go jam. Let us know where you're watching us from. If you're on Facebook, you're welcome. So we're gonna do this for a minute. How was your night?
Boring.
Is it? You're gonna boost your morning this morning, right?
Oh, yes.
Awesome stuff. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, marching. Let's go, Team Camnet. Let's go, let's go. It's a warm-up for a minute. We'll just do that. Very simple, very basic. Let's go. Keep marching. And 4, 3, 2, step touch. There you go. Let's go. And we're beginning our workout soon. 4, 3, 2, knee highs. Stay at it. Let's go. Keep on the knees. What else can we give them? Punches or 2 knees? What do you suggest?
Let's go our legs.
Our legs?
Yep.
Okay. So what do you think? We go back to step touch?
Yes, please.
4, 3, 2, step touch. Go. Hands up. Let's go. I think we can give them hamstrings. What do you think?
Let's go.
Okay. 4, 3, 2, hamstring, go. 1 each. Let's go, Team Camnet. 1 each. Oh, we need to put some stuff. Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Stay there. 4, 3, 2, marching. That is your cool down now. If you want, you can quickly sip some warm water. And there we go. I think we need to throw some punches.
Let's do this, Camnet!
You know the one we're gonna do?
Okay.
We're gonna do a side punch. We'll be trotting with a punch. You remember that one?
Yes.
4, 3. We'll go with the right one actually. 4, 3, 2. Let's go. This is doable. What do you think?
I'm dying.
Woo, I don't think so. Let's go. Push. Push. Let's punch into our day. Ooh. 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 Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The other side. She's sipping some water. Now that's the reality of the workout. Sometimes you are doing the workout and you just have to go and sip some water. So there you go. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, and marching. So now I deliberately brought in my friend so that you see how it goes. Sometimes in the middle of a workout, you feel like you need to stop, drink some water. And that's what she did. Shola, let's go. Water break is over. Woo. Let's go. Match, 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 match. And 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's go. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. On the sides. 1, 2. Keep going. Let's go. 1, 2. And 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's go. Match, 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 match. Awesome workout, Team Camnet. Say something on our Facebook page. Let us know where you're watching from. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. This has been Isaac Matsa, your presenter. Remember, always to tune into Camnet TV.
Welcome back. Hope you managed to stretch 1 or 2 muscles. I was going to ask Michael again if he works out, but I don't think I'm in the mood for lies today.
Today I did the fingers, but we're good. We're good. We're good. Thank you. Thank you. We're good.
Last week it was the toes. What did you say about the toes? Trying to remove the blood?
The blood to the legs, yes, to release the blood.
And then today you did the fingers. Why did you work?
Well, no, the arms. So.
Oh my God! You know what?
It's coming to here. Soon I'll get to here. You will see. Don't play with me, man.
Anyways, for those of you that are just joining us, you're watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Our topic of discussion, we actually have two today, National Day of Prayer and Fasting. Do you think it should be removed or not? And also former Republican President Edgar Lungu's immunity, do you think it should be removed or not? 0968675273. You can come through or get to our Facebook platform and comment, and we will be glad to hear from you. And also, away from our topics of discussion, you can choose one of the headlines, the topics that made headlines in the course of the week. If you feel there's one that you need to comment on, we have quite a number. UPND members protesting because certain members joined the party, defected from the Patriotic Front. Petitions being won, petitions being said should be the judgment should be that it was now and void because they feel it wasn't handled in the certain period of time that it's supposed to. And also on the other side, political party president Harry Calabar saying that the ban of President Edgar Lungu's immunity should be lifted, and also other things on the other side. Now, before we quickly get into the conversation, let's just take a quick short break, and then we'll be back on the other side.
The Camnet October Conference is fast approaching. To participate in the forthcoming conference, you're required to book your seat by paying 750 kwacha per person per day. Date 1st and 2nd October 2021. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Guest speakers include Professor Reda, Professor Munkumba, Mr. Nkuruma Kalaluka, Dr. Musonda, Dr. Sitima, Anthony from USA, Dr. Mwale, Honorable Bob Sichinga, Elias Bondela, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba.
The deadline for payments will be 28 September 2021. Any late payment made after 28 September will attract a penalty fee of 200 kwacha per person.
Make your payments through mobile money. For MTN, 096 296 5883. For Airtel, 097 975 3010. Our banking details are 913 000 182 5325. Stanbic Bank, Kablonga branch.
Welcome back. Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show is what you're watching. Now, quickly getting into what has been happening in the course of the week. Charity Lumpe joins the United Party for National Development.
Yes, yes. Another defection from the Patriotic Front.
From the Patriotic Front.
The UPND. You know, this thing of defections has been a very common trait in
we should get used.
Yeah, I think
we should
by
really
now,
get used.
I think by now we're used to people jumping. As one mentioned, someone said that politics, it's a game of survival. So that's why the emphasis on numbers, that's why it's easy for someone to just jump from one party to the other, because it's for survival, basically.
Something caught my attention yesterday on my way from town to home. One of the bus drivers mentioned one of the passengers. There was a topic, okay, political topic. As usual, it's like a salon. You always have something to talk about. So this passenger comes up to say, it's sad that the cadres have just moved from the Patriotic Front to the UPND. Now Patriotic Front cadres are changing, just putting on the UPND regalia, and that's it. So when certain crimes are being committed, in as much as you would say they're PF cadres, the regalia would tell you something else. But then the bus driver mentioned to say, we know ourselves. Okay, we know ourselves, and if a UPND cadre wore a PF regalia, we would know that this one is from UPND. If a PF cadre wore a UPND regalia, or a UPND cadre wears a PF regalia, we will know that this is not from the party. So in as much as they are alleging that certain cadres are from the UPND, they know themselves.
Which is very important.
Which is very important. Because this new administration, they have just put it out there in black and white and underlined it to say, we don't want cadres, and they've mentioned they'll find something for them to do, because the complaint was that that's where we used to feed our families from.
What would be the alternative if they stop doing cadreism? True.
So, yeah, we still have some cadres collecting money from bus drivers. That story will come through later on. But getting into our first story that made headlines in the course of the week is Charity Lumpa joining the United Party for National Development, defecting from the Patriotic Front, and also some UPND members protesting because Charmaine joins the party. Quite interesting. That was very heated. I enjoy political drama. Political party dramas for me. Of course, precious. It's the juice in the relish. It's the soup. I love it. It's like top cream for me. So now let's quickly get into this one, and then we'll come back with another story.
They say politics is about numbers. With this statement of fact, political players shift camp when they feel the ideologies of a particular party do not represent their interest. Common known as defections, usually witnessed during election time, but of late, from the time the Patriotic Front lost their August 12 election, many Patriotic Front members have opted to shift camp to join the ruling party. While this has smoothly done for some members, the case was different for Charmaine Musonda, who recently defected to the PF from the UPND and now returned to the ruling UPND. UPND party members who were at the party secretariat almost pounced on her as she was trying to take advantage of the Charity Lumpa's defecting to the ruling party.
That is the reason why we are here. There is someone who wants to join us, and the people are saying no. That's why we hear that noise. The ceremony that we knew was of Madame Lumpa, who...
As things got tense, furious UPND members could not hold their frustrations and later kicked out Ms. Musonda from the party secretariat. But UPND Secretary General Batoka Imenda took control of the situation, adding that all members who left the party wishing to rejoin are welcome.
Our friends who are joining and rejoining us to have recognized these factors. To you friends, I can proudly say you are welcome.
Meanwhile, Charity Lumpa successfully defected to the site in good leadership and service to the people.
When we work together as a people, nothing can stop us from achieving our dreams. When we live a life of service to the nation, our legacy lives on. Let us work hard to make Zambia a better place for all.
We will be more than happy to work with you. Please bring your past experience. Bring your past experience to us and make sure that we benefit from you being with us. Thank you very much.
Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
There you have it. Quite interesting.
It was hot.
It was.
It was hot. The women were shouting, we don't want them to come back. I told them, fire, please. You know, it's very hot when people come through and they air their views like that, especially the women of society.
I've seen something like that happen with the movement for multi-party democracy.
Yes. They clearly did not want any defections. They're like, no, stay on this party. We don't want anyone coming.
I think, guys, this is politics.
It is politics. That's the thing. On the ground, it's very heated, but you know.
I wasn't surprised that certain party members from the former ruling party actually defected to the UPND because with their claims, they feel there's greener pasture on the other side. Yeah. It's something that's very common. I feel we shouldn't be shocked when such things happen.
But again, it defeats the whole purpose of why people voted for a new party. If people can
because they want fresh minds.
Yes. If people are now defecting and going back and forth, that defeats the whole purpose of why people voted.
But you know, certain things like politics, it's about experience, but then you also need new people to go through a certain process so that they get to have the experience. But anyways, all the best to Charmaine and Madam Charity Lumpa for joining, congratulations actually, and also all the best as they venture into the UPND administration. I wouldn't mind seeing Madam Charity Lumpa have a position. I feel we don't have a lot of females in the participating in political activities. So it wouldn't be a bad idea seeing her having a position in government. I feel she has the potential. She's done quite a lot of great humanitarian work. I remember we hosted her on one of the breakfast shows, and she was one of the candidates. She was one of, not the candidates, she was aspiring candidates, but then she wasn't adopted by the Patriotic Front. So we're yet to see more of that. And also moving on, just ended general election, more than actually 20 petitions were filed in at the High Court. One of them, not one of them, actually from the mayor's seat, the councillor, and also member of parliament. Half of the petitions, or most of the petitions, were from the ruling United Party for National Development, and the one that actually has the first one that a judgment has been passed is Mr. Chitangala and also Victor Nyasulu, who actually petitioned the results that were gotten by Mr. Chitangala, who is from the Patriotic Front on the Lusaka City Mayor. So it's done, it's over, he won. Chitangala won.
Mrs. Chitangala, yes, for Patriotic Front, yes.
Yeah, Miss Chitangala won. So we are yet to see. The other one is for Kanyama, where Elizabeth, there was a petition.
Yes.
There are quite a lot of. There's one. I know three. This one. Then there's the one for Shaka Fuswa. Then there's the one for Elizabeth Perry. These are the three that I know, but there are more than 20.
Yes.
So we are waiting to see. Looking at the petition that were filed in at the High Court from the just ended general election, I remember the Madam Shalakateka mentioned to say if all the petitions go through, which means the ruling party will have more say in Parliament, because 95% will be from the ruling party.
Yes.
There was that concern, making it a one-party state. Making it a one-party state. Yes. So let's take a look at this clip, and then we'll get to the next one after that.
Drama characterized the Lusaka Magistrate Court Tuesday morning, shortly after the local election tribunal dismissed the Lusaka mayoral petition. A suspected Patriotic Front supporter, only identified as Kafula, was brutally beaten by suspected UPND members at the court's ground after they accused him of having been one of the cadres who used to perpetrate violence in markets. Kafula, who went to offer his solidarity to Ms. Chitangala, was however unlucky as they pounced on him the time he was trying to leave the court's ground. Kafula, who is said to be an employee at the Lusaka City Council, was apprehended and taken to Ridgeway Police.
Police.
Earlier, the Tribunal on Local Government Elections dismissed a petition by UPND losing mayoral candidate Victor Nyasulu, who was challenging the election of Lusaka City Mayor Chilando Chitangala. In its ruling, the tribunal said Ms. Chitangala was duly elected as Lusaka mayor and further that the petitioner, Mr. Nyasulu, failed to prove the bribery and corruption allegations against her. The tribunal further ruled in its judgment that Ms. Chitangala and the agent had nothing to do with the allegations as they were perpetrated by the Patriotic Front and could not be held reliable for the acts done by the party, which she did not give consent as a candidate. Mr. Nyasulu had alleged in his petition, where he cited Ms. Chitangala and the Electoral Commission of Zambia as respondent respectively, that Ms. Chitangala was not duly elected as Lusaka mayor because she was engaged in electoral malpractices. However, Ms. Chitangala, who was the respondent in this matter, in her defense, she had denied all the allegations by Mr. Nyasulu. And speaking shortly after the judgment, Mr. Nyasulu says he will respect the court's decision.
We respect the position of the tribunal, and our next move will be announced later.
However, it seems the judgment has left some members in anger.
That we had problems in Mandela. Who doesn't know we had problems? How many people have died? How many people have died? So we are not going to condone to this, and we are making it clear that this time around, we are going to take this case back.
Miriam Kaimpa reporting for Camnet TV News.
Court is always hard.
So that man that was being beaten, the story behind it apparently is after the case finished.
Yeah.
He went back there.
He went back to the court?
He went back to the court, and there are people that recognized his face. He was working for the council but was behaving like a cadre.
Wow.
So he used to mistreat some people. So now they caught him, now that we have a new administration. But I feel that's not right.
It isn't right. I mean, there is the rule of law in the country, but you know, this is why I think the new government has stressed that cadreism is something that they really do not want because of such actions like that.
But it's going to actually take a lot, because just diving into our next story, marrying the comment that you've just passed, there are still some cadres that are collecting money from bus drivers. Okay, and it's not only bus drivers. I remember there was a story that we ran where marketeers are also complaining to say there are still some faces that they knew from the former administration, and they are now working in the new administration, which is the UPND. Yeah. So now they asked to be sensitized on which receipt is genuine and which one is not. Yeah. Okay, so I feel it's gonna really take a lot. I don't know what needs to be done, but I remember the Minister of Local Government, Mr. Gary Nkombo, mentioned to the marketeers to say, we are trying to get rid of that. So if anyone attempts or anyone comes to collect money from you that doesn't work for Lusaka City Council, you need to report. But then they're scared.
They are. What do you think of some people saying that possibly if there's police presence at bus stations, that could maybe reduce the amount of cadreism at these places? Like in the beginning when...
I feel they should, if it means them changing the police officers that are there, moving them to another location and then like swapping, because I feel the police officers have been there. For example, Kulima Tower bus station, there's a police post there, and those people are familiar with the people that were there. Yeah. So maybe keeping them there would be a good idea, because they know that these were from the previous administration, and also bringing new police officers will still be the same.
True.
So I feel, but old habits are hard to get rid of.
True.
I feel like,
and some would allege that certain police officers from
were
the
actually
involved in some of these activities that involved cadres. So I don't know, maybe to elevated, what do you think? What if there was presence of maybe people from the army or?
I feel that would. No, that's too much. That's too much. I feel to place fear into the citizens because I feel they wouldn't have the freedom. Have you ever been in a place where there is a military van and then they're just moving around?
Yeah, there's that.
There's just that discomfort. It happened. Sorry, before we get into the Kadas and Bauleni compound bus station, I would twice actually as we were passing through Chivolia compound on a public transport. This guy was attacked by 5 guys.
Wow.
Okay, they got his shoes, got his shirt, got his wallet, got his phone. That was the first day that it happened that I witnessed. The second one also, the same thing happened. So the third time I was passing through there, because the public transport I use uses the route usually either to Makeni or from Makeni. So I found military guys and I was like, finally, yes. So it's like it's been going on. It's common. Another story that the passenger told is that they literally got a baby from the window.
Don't tell me.
And said, give us 300 kwacha. Like, so kezana ni mutipase 300 kwacha ndepeti za kupasani mwana.
Wow. Wow, serious?
Yes. So I feel there's just so much that needs to be done in Chivoli. It's scary. People's phones they get their phones from the windows. It even gets to an extent of actually breaking the windows. So I feel police officers have a lot of work to do when it comes to Chivolia area. People have said no, they should actually demolish all the houses, but there are families there. There are innocent families there. It's just the circumstances has subjected them to living such a life. So there's a lot of things that police need to be done. But anyways, getting into the story that we were talking about, Kada's still collecting money from bus drivers. Let's take a look at this clip and then we'll continue with an additional story after that.
Cadarism in African politics is considered a plague, perhaps even more serious than some diseases. Political party supporters, who in Zambia are commonly known as cadres, affiliate themselves with certain political parties and often expect undue favors when their party forms government. In the past regime, which is the Patriotic Front PF government, PF cadres are said to have found a livelihood from illegally collecting levies from bus stations and markets, which are meant for local authorities. With the coming of the United Party for National Development UPND government, President Hakainde Hichilema explicitly stated that cadarism and illegal collection of levies will not be allowed in his administration, as this was robbing local authorities of funds. While the vice has stopped in major bus stations, such as Kulima Tower bus station in Lusaka, most bus drivers operating within communities are complaining. A check by Camnet News at one of the bus stations in Bauleni compound in Lusaka found cadres dressed in UPND regalia demanding levies from bus drivers. Drivers operating from Lilanda compound in Lusaka, another area affected by the same, have spoken out. Meanwhile, Deputy Youth Chairperson in the UPND, Mr. Trevor Mwinde, says drivers should desist from giving cadres levies to see this vice permanently end and report to the authorities.
But time has come that we should walk the talk to those that are going to continue to do these bad things and vices that which put the name of the government in a bad position. We will not spare you, dear fellow youths. We want you to remain steadfast and patient. Look how long we have stayed in opposition. The people of Zambia voted for the UPND and His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema and the running mate, honor the Vice President, Madam Mutarena Rumango, out of nothing but except that they wanted us to get rid of the cadres that were tormenting them and torturing them. So there's no way that we can give them the same measure of what they were saying they want to get out of. Different stakeholders have been speaking out on the need to put an end to cadarism, stating that cadres have only proven to be problematic to society. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Camnet TV. So, Precious, on the ground, we just saw there Mr. Trevor Mwinde from the UPND, National Youth
spokesperson,
deputy spokesperson.
I'm still trying to get hold of their positions. I know the names. I know there's Cornelius Mwitoa, Batuke Imenda, the popular names.
Yes.
Trevor Mwinde, and just to mention a few. Yes, so there was that complaint, and he mentioned to say perpetrators will be brought to book. But also the new Inspector General, Mr. Kajoba, mentioned to say, actually told the police officers to pounce on anyone masquerading as a political cadre. So a directive is there.
It's true, the directive is there, just like the directive which was given in terms of roadblocks, like no more roadblocks. Which is I was going to get to that after, but yeah. On your thoughts on removing the roadblocks now and the fact that that directive is actually officially being given now.
I don't know how to feel about that. It's mixed emotions. People's manual will be saved, but then there are a lot of cars that are on the road and are not fit to be on the road, and I feel those roadblocks, they were actually helping in trying to sort out and filter that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
We are good. Who are we talking to and where are you calling us from?
You are talking to Tuman Lungu. I'm calling you from Banyama.
Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yeah, my contribution is on the fact that for those who are saying that what is the Kaja's meeting or because the government is promoting the gun just because someone was deciding to do anything from there. And also that to the side of the youth, it should be given to the university because we have a lot of things that we can use, we can earn anything, not by just federalism, collecting money from the market. That's not right. So those things, they should remain and be in the past.
Okay, is that all?
Yeah.
Before I let you go, getting on our topics of discussion, you can decide to comment on one of the two. Let's get to the National Day of Prayer and Fasting. Were you actually participating in that? Were you participating in the National Day of Prayer and Fasting?
I wasn't participating.
Do you think it should still be there or it should be removed?
No, it should be there because it's also one thing that is bringing people together for the purpose of unity. So everyone has the freedom of worship. So it should be there. Those who can go, they should go. Those who cannot go, they can remain home. So we have no problem with that.
All right, thank you so much for coming through. All right. Quite an interesting comment there, and talking about political cadres. He says we should be innovative as young people, and there are certain things that we can do to actually earn money, which I feel he was trying to say is we don't have to depend on the government for employment and stuff like that. You can also come through 0968675273. Do you think the National Day of Prayer and Fasting should be removed or maintained? And also, do you think former Republican President Edgar Lungu's immunity should be removed or not? And also, you can come through and discuss or comment on the topics or clips that we had on the stories that made headlines in the course of the week. One of them is Charity Lumpa joining the United Party for National Development, Madam Chilando Chitangala being a Lusaka City Mayor, and also Baulani Compound cadres still collecting money from bus drivers. Now getting on to one of the stories that actually caught my attention also in the course of the week is Chichimbakambili getting back in court.
Yes, especially after those 39 counts which were...
He was acquitted.
Acquitted of all those counts. Just barely a week and then he's back in court.
But you guys, let the man rests.
Precious, these things.
I'm not justifying the crimes. 4 years back and forth, in and out of court. Personally, I feel 39 counts were too much to not find one fault. But then They said he brought evidence.
True.
Okay.
True. You know, this is why some people question the judicial system in the country, saying, is it fair? Is it equal for all? I don't know. Honestly, going back, because court is expensive, as we always say.
It is. So we have a caller. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning. We're all right, thank you. How are you? Hello? You're calling us from where? Your line is not clear. Kindly try and call us back. 0968675273, 0968675273, or get to our Facebook platform and you can comment from there. We were talking about Chishimba Kambili back in court barely a week after being acquitted from the 39 counts with is it 3 others, 5 others?
Yes.
Former ZRA employees his son, Mwamuna Engineering Technical Services. So that's 5.
Should be about 5
or 39 counts out of that. Uttering false information to an officer, and some allegations that some money were proceeds of crime. The 39 is a lot of counts. So he is back in court for the 39 counts that he was acquitted for. So let's quickly get into this one. We'll be back.
Almost 2 weeks after being acquitted by the court on allegation of forgery and possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime amounting to over 6 million kwacha, Patriotic Front member Chishimba Kambili's acquittal is now being challenged by the state as they feel that the court erred in law when it set him free. On the 9th of September 2021, Mr. Kambili, his son Mwamba, a company called Mwamuna Engineering and Technical Services, and 2 former Zambia Revenue Authority employees, Musonda Lukwesa and Mulinga Kapilima, were acquitted by the magistrate court in all the 39 counts of different charges, among them forgery, uttering a false document, after 4 years of trial. Judge Mwakamikalile, who sat as principal magistrate, acquitted Kambili and 4 others as the allegations against them failed to be proven beyond reasonable doubt, and further stated that during Kambili's defense, he provided the court with evidence of his legitimate source of income, hence the charge of proceeds of crime failed to stand. The court also acquitted the 2 as they had authority to prepare the tax clearance certificate for Mwamuna Engineering. However, the state, through the Director of Public Prosecution, has now appealed against the Lusaka's Magistrate Court decision to acquit Mr. Kambili and 2 others. According to the state's ground of appeal filed before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court, it has argued that Justice Mwakamikalile erred in law when it acquitted Mr. Kambili, Mwamuna Engineering and Technical Services, and Brano Lukwesa, who is a former ZRA official, despite the weight of evidence on record, and further that the court erred when it held the grounds of suspecting that the money reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime in possession of Mr. Kambili relating to charges from count 5 to 39 had been watered down. However, the state, in its appeal against the acquittal, has not included Mr. Kambili's son Mwamba and one of the former ZRA employees, Mary Kapilima. The court will soon hear the appeal. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Me, I can be upset. Yes. Yeah.
Going back and forth to
it's
court
expensive.
every
It's
other
a lot
week.
of money.
Legal fees are it's a lot.
Plus Nama lawyers.
Yeah, Nama lawyers as well.
Guys. Anyway, yeah. Stories that made headlines also in the course of the week. Something that we almost forgot. Faith Msonda, we're not sure how true that is. That there was 65 million kwacha cash found in one of her residences, and also 57,000 United States dollars. She was at the police headquarters, Central Police, on Thursday from about 14 hours to about 23. We're yet to hear what the conclusion is. The first day she was called, she asked for some more time to gather evidence that the money was not from proceeds of crime. So we're yet to hear what the judgment or what the conclusion will be on that case. Definitely. That's definitely a story that's been making a lot of rounds this week about... Memes are moving around on Facebook, social media. It is. Yeah, so now quickly getting into the two topics of discussion and also the clips where they came from that caught our attention. They will play back to back. That is the National Day of Prayer and Fasting being suggested that it should be removed, and also removing the immunity on former Republican President Edgar Lungu. Let's just have these and then we'll quickly get into our interview of the day.
The United Party for National Development Government, under its creation of the new cabinet, some ministries were merged while others were completely done away with and put as departments in certain ministries. According to the information on the ground, some ministries did not really serve their purpose but became a conduit to divide the nation by mere fact that they were highly politicized. Among the ministries that have failed to see the day of light in the UPND government include the Guidance and Religious Affairs Ministry, Gender and Traditional Affairs Ministry. Zambia is a Christian nation. A larger population of the church considered this ministry important in uniting the nation. Whether the idea of having this ministry was good or not is still subject of debate. Opposition Democratic Party President Harry Kalaba says a move to remove the religious ministry is welcome.
Of the Ministry of Religious Affairs is in order, because Zambia is a democracy, it is not a theocracy. Yes. And in a democracy, my dear, we expect the institutions of the church and government to be separate. The Ministry of Religious Affairs in its entirety was not a bad ministry. But it was people who were presiding over it that made that ministry become toxic. They began using it for politics. They began offending sacrology. And in the process, Christians all over Zambia began feeling that they were being left out of that ministry. The Ministry of Religious Affairs even began giving out loans to churches. You remember that? Yes. All that was in the process of hoodwinking the people of Zambia. We have the three church mother bodies that have been dealing with our church affairs. The Episcopal Conference of Zambia, the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, and the Council of Churches.
But a local clergy spoken to is against this move, adding that the ministry should be maintained.
Because what we know is it was abused. Is it possible that we can revert? The intentions of creating the ministry were good, and it's a good ministry for that it was supposed to be guiding and bringing good morals into it. So if the right things could be done, let it come back and let it be run by a sober person who won't be biased towards the government of the day. It should be for the people of Zambia.
Meanwhile, Mr. Kalaba says his party is keenly following the way UPND is running the affairs of the nation, giving them a plus, at least for now.
Also cautiously following the president and his government on some of the campaign promises they made. And we'll call them out when we see a departure from those promises. For this reason, we would like to mention that I would like to mention with concern that we have seen a toning down on the promise that the UPND made of providing free education from primary to university. In his address to the National Assembly, the President alluded to deserving participants, beneficiaries in the bursaries, which sounded like a departure from what was promised during the campaign period. We are yet to see how the President will balance that and come to the fore and guide the nation. As we have said, as Democratic Party, we'll be patient. They say a voucher is a patient bird. We'll be patient, and so don't worry when you don't see us every day yapping and talking a talk. We will allow the UPND government to settle. Let them settle, and once they settle, we are going to see whether what they told us is at variance with what they are doing.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
We have said let the Anti-Corruption Commission do their work, let the DEC do their work,
if the DEC do their work and find that there will be reason for the nation to know much more about the former president, we'll gladly want to hear about it. I think that's the way it should be. It do not be a first anyway, that a former president is losing immunity in this country. Except that the law now has changed. It has to be the president himself to go to parliament and ask parliament to do the needful. So if there will be need for the president to lose his immunity, let's hear it from the professionals, how they will have done the investigations. Let them develop a basis for us to begin talking about that. Let's not jump the gun. Otherwise it will be seen as if we just want to witch hunt anybody and we want some people to be punished.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show, and joining me on set is the former NIPASU president, former ZANASU president, legal scorer, and also overall the citizen, Mr. Joseph Musenga. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Madam Moderator, and good morning, viewers out there.
I feel, like one of those big people, Madam Moderator, the such type of language. Thank you for joining us. I actually woke you up. You're supposed to be resting today, but I'm glad that you found time to actually join us this morning.
All right, thank you so much. The pleasure is mine.
Yes, so now getting into the talk of the town, removing the immunity from former Republican President Edgar Lungu, let's quickly just break it down, starting with the word immunity for those that don't understand it.
Yeah, I think immunity in the context of politics means the privilege of not being prosecuted by any courts of law. Yeah. Basically that's it, because presidents and other diplomats have the immunity not to be prosecuted for any civil or criminal offenses that they commit. So they are more like protected, and I think that was done with the view to protect them so that they can execute their duties well. Because they are only human, they could make mistakes at any point. So if they have the immunity, they could do quite a number of wrong things, but for the interest of the people that they govern. Yes.
Okay, so now getting into what is being talked about, what would happen to the former head of state if immunity was actually lifted?
Well, what would happen is, well, it's simple. If his immunity is lifted, then he appears before the courts of law. He's arrested only if he has offenses that he committed and there is evidence to that effect. I think removing the immunity of a president or even a former president, and Article 98 is very clear, there must be overwhelming evidence. There must be a prima facie case to lift his immunity. And that is the only way that a report could be taken to Parliament, and the parliamentarians could now vote for or against the removal of his immunity.
So we have had different stakeholders talk of general citizen, talk of members of parliament, talk of political party presidents that have suggested that the immunity should be removed. And you've mentioned to say members of parliament needs to vote, but who gets to have the final say on removing the immunity from a former head of state?
Well, of course, it's the people of Zambia who have the final say, but through their representatives. Okay? Because remember, the people of Zambia have representation out of 156 members of parliament. So whatever is decided by the parliamentarians is perceived largely to have been the views of the people of Zambia. So in a nutshell, it's the people of Zambia that have a final say. I'll give you one classic example. In the recent past, the people of Zambia were fighting against Bill-10. Okay? We saw the previous regime trying to push through Bill-10, even when the people of Zambia were saying no. Okay? The Chapter 1 Foundation, Law Association of Zambia took the matter to court, and the courts of law said no, it does not interfere with the operations of parliament. And the people of Zambia were left with no choice whatsoever but for parliament itself. And through parliament, they voted against Bill 10. and the citizens were in jubilation because the reflection, the decision of parliamentarians was the overall decision of the people of Zambia. So it is through that vehicle that we, the citizens of this republic, we voice out. Of course, often at times, there are laws, there are legislations which are made by our representatives, which we, the ordinary citizens, don't agree with. But what is the effect of that? We take them there. The decisions they make, either correct or erroneous, are our own decisions because they are our representatives. So that is the case. The people of Zambia have a final say.
So now, you being a lawyer, okay, that's if you're allowed to comment on this. Do you think it would be right to actually remove immunity from a former head of state?
Well, it is not just a matter of thought. What should happen? Well, let's face it. The people of Zambia, most of them, I've seen this on social media, are saying we should remove Dr. EDGAR Lungu's immunity, former president, for the atrocities that he committed. That is the discussion that is in public domain. And I'm sure this is becoming a matter of public knowledge. People like me, an ordinary citizen, that would jump on a bus from point A, point B. Those are the kind of discussions that we engage in, okay, on buses. But the biggest question remains, do we have overwhelming evidence that this honorable gentleman committed atrocities? And the question is, which atrocities are we talking about? Okay? And Madam Moderator, viewers out there, I want to be too quick to mention, of course, jumping the gun. We removed the immunity of the late Titus Chiluba, Lupia Banda,
Dr. Kenneth Kaunda,
and even the Americans. We saw an attempt being made to remove the immunity of Donald Trump. But what happened? All cases were lost against this. At the end of the day, KK was acquitted, Chiluba was acquitted, Lupia Banda was acquitted. So I think it is very important that we look at the past so as to move forward. Because more especially in the case of Chiluba, the country lost a lot of resources. Resources that could have fed poor Zambians who cannot afford to buy or to have 3 meals a day. Okay, we missed an opportunity to direct investments in a proper channel, Madam Moderator. So the removal of the immunity is one question, but the elements that we must satisfy, and the most important elements, is that, is there overwhelming evidence? Do we have a prima facie case that we can bring against EDGAR Lungu today? I think if one can say, yes, there is this document that incriminates President EDGAR Lungu, and there are these witnesses who were there when such offenses were being committed, then such a report must be made before Parliament. And if that report is made before Parliament, that is only stage one. That is only stage one.
I was about to get to the procedure of actually how this would work. So it's good that you've gotten into this.
That is only stage one. Okay, a report is submitted before Parliament. A motion is moved. Okay, how many numbers? Okay, we know what happens in Parliament. Okay, there's partisan politics, there's national politics, and there's constituency politics. Because parliamentarians, allow me to digress a little bit, viewers out there, moderator. Yes. The members of Parliament have got 3 mandates. Okay, one to their political party, the second one to the people of Zambia, the third one to the people in their jurisdictions, in their counties, in their constituencies. So now, what happens fundamentally, and the first one which has influence above the two is allegiance to their political parties. So if today the PF decide that they do not want to take part in voting for the motion that removes the immunity of President EDGAR Lungu, and on the other hand, we've got the UPND, who are so looking forward to have his immunity removed because they are of the view that quite a number of atrocities were committed. The numbers do not satisfy the third majority, the two-third majority, which is about 109. Okay, because UPND has only 81 or 82 members of parliament, 63 for the PF, and about 10 for the independents. And then I've just forgotten the political party that the most famous person who has become now Hamududu Haivi. Okay, he has one representative.
Yes.
What is his view? Is he in support or is against? So those are the intricacies that must be put in play. It is not just about having overwhelming evidence against EDGAR Lungu. It is also about having the numbers in parliament. Okay, what are we going to have parliamentarians who are going to say, look, national duty calls upon us and we need the resources, we need this person who committed atrocities to be brought to book for the interest of justice and for the interest of moving forward as a country and setting an example. Those are the intricacies that no one would answer at this material time, because even as we have this discussion, we do not even have overwhelming evidence. Madam Moderator, maybe I put it to you. What is it that EDGAR Lungu committed that you can point at and you can prove beyond reasonable doubt? Not the standard of proof, but beyond reasonable doubt, Madam Moderator.
I have none. Honestly speaking, I was just an ordinary citizen. I would hear him officiating this. I would hear him this side, him visiting different people, courtesy calls and stuff like that. If I was to point out things that I think he did that were wrong when he was the head of state, it's just word of mouth. I don't think I have paperwork. I don't think I have video clips. I don't think I have a witness to actually stand in court to say, I agree what she's saying and this is what we... So I as an honorary citizen, I don't.
And look, to be honest and to be fair, yes, so many atrocities, yes, were committed during his tenure. We saw the gassing happening.
Yes.
Okay, we saw quite a number of ritual killings happening. Okay, we saw the honorable gentleman, Saman Samame, so rest in peace, being shot in cold blood. We saw Joseph, I think that was Joseph Kaunda.
The UPND.
Yes, who was also shot at the same event. Okay, all those atrocities, those were extrajudicial killings, and we saw City Market being burned down. Okay, and all we have are allegations against EDGAR Lungu. Because why are we saying it's EDGAR Lungu? Because he was the sitting president. But are we able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that all those things that were happening were actually sanctioned by himself? Okay, did the gentleman who opened fire against Sama Joseph and all those that were shot by police officers sanctioned by EDGAR Lungu? If the answer is yes, Madam Moderator, then it's high time we must compile a report and submit before Parliament and hope that he's brought before book. But before that, it's a fallacy, Madam Moderator. This is something that could not happen. And what is the economic benefit? Well, I see none.
Apart from losing out a lot of resources?
I see none, but for the interest of justice, yes. For the interest of justice, yes. But I'll revert to my words. It's an issue of having a prima facie case, okay, and the numbers in Parliament. Article 96 is clear. A prima facie case must be given.
It's good that I have now known how to pronounce the prima facie case. There's another word.
Well, it's a Latin word. People have different pronunciations.
You being a lawyer, there's another word. Nole what? Others would say nole prosequi. Others would say nole prosequi. Others say nole prosecu. So what is this about tomato?
Yeah. So so these are foreign words. That we all get to learn, and pronunciations vary.
What is your pronunciation?
Okay, my pronunciation is nole prosequi.
Oh, great.
That is how I pronounce it.
Makes us both. So now getting in back to our topic of discussion, what is it that you've mentioned quite a number of things that would happen if the immunity was to be removed. One of them is actually diverting a lot of funds that are supposed to help those people that are in need of the money. What are some of the things that we need to know before considering removing the immunity from the former head of state, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu?
Yeah, so
like an education to the public.
Yeah, so number one, and the most important thing that we need to know for us to move a motion, either we must or we must not remove his immunity, is do we have any cases, any witnesses that point to him to have sanctioned the commission of those offenses? Remember, he was president, and mostly he delegated. So if he delegated, is he the one that told those that committed offenses to
Did he give a directive?
Did he give a directive? Okay. And if the answer is yes, that is what we need.
Okay.
Yes.
Just hold on that thought. We have a caller. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you.
Who am I talking to and where are you calling us from? Sorry?
I'm calling you from Zambia.
Oh, please go ahead with your contribution, sir. Unfortunately, I can't get you. Please kindly call us back and make sure that you have proper network. 0968675273, 0968675273. Please go ahead.
Yes, so those are the fundamentals that we must begin to appreciate. Yes, if we are alleging the gassing, the ritual killings, the corruption that was there in the country, are we able to pinpoint them against Edgar Lungu? And if the answer is yes, then we can hold discussions that we must remove his immunity. But like I said, that is not the end. Okay, that's the first step that we can take. The most important step is Parliament itself. Okay, are the members able to agree with putting their partisan politics aside and say, yes, I think we suffered a lot, this man committed ABCD. If that can only happen, then yes, we may have this discussion. But look, we ought to be factual. We ought to be factual. We saw, and this is why Bill 10 failed, because some section of Parliament voted against it, and some members absconded, didn't even vote in the first place. So already you can see that this is something that will need a collective agreement by members of Parliament to achieve.
Okay, so Mr. Busenga, before we let you go, any closing remarks?
Well, I think for me, I would like to appeal to the head of state, President Hakainde Hichilema, not to relent. Like I said, I'm an ordinary citizen who jumps on a bus every day to go for work, to go back for work. And people on buses are very happy with the fact that we don't have Kadaism anymore. Okay, bus drivers are saying, stations. Okay, so you can tell that there's order in the country. Okay,
there's some
yes,
progress.
yes. Marketeers are also happy. And look, we don't care who belongs to the PF, who belongs to Hamududu, who belongs to any political party. What is fundamental and most salient is that that person is a citizen of this republic, and they ought to be respected. Something that we never saw in the past. And if this can continue, if the President HH makes sure that this can continue, we'll be appeased as people of Zambia. And above all, chiefly, let him work hard. We need this economy to get back on track. We need to pay back our debt and engage in multilateral agreements that bring benefits to this country, and not just giving them tax holidays. No. I hope this is why he created the Ministry of, is it small and medium
enterprises?
Yes. I hope he will look into giving our local businessmen, our small businesses tax holidays, as opposed to giving ShopRite, to giving Pick and Pay tax holidays and tax incentives. I think those are shenanigans that corrupt politicians must enjoy. And so far I'm happy, and allow me to take this opportunity, Madam Moderator, the viewers out there, that President Hakainde Hichilema has made us proud at the proceedings at the United Nations. I think we are proud of him. Okay, not to say we are not proud of the previous ones.
He's just made us proud in
yes,
this particular moment.
He just made us proud at this moment. I know others will come in and do better. I know the previous ones also did better. Nothing more special about him. But
no comparisons?
Yes, no comparisons whatsoever. But we're proud. Yes, that is what I wanted to say, Madam Moretti.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much, and thank you, viewers out there.
Well, there you have it. You're still watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. We'll quickly get to the other side. We'll be back after this.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 2444 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Welcome back, still watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. We're headed to the dying minutes of the show. Hope you've learnt one or two things.
Definitely.
Prima facie.
Prima facie.
And non le prosequi.
Hey.
Now I know how to pronounce it when I'm reading the news. But anyway, getting into our comments section on Facebook. This one is coming from Edwin Zulu, and it's saying National Day of Prayer and Fasting should not be removed. No reason justifies removal. In fact, it should not be a day but a lifestyle in our houses, day and night, praying for one another and those in authority. Kefles Nkoma says, well spoken. Then Edwin Zulu came back again. He says, but if there is a prima facie against him, they should remove it so that he answers the allegations and be cleared. No sacred cows. This one is coming from LCGA from Mufurila, and is saying, do you honestly think religious people and non-believers like praying? Do you expect them to say, let us maintain the day if the of prayer and fasting? Well, comment respected. And this one is saying, the day of prayer and fasting goes on whether others pray and fast or not. Let it continue to be a public holiday, and the remnants will pray and fast, seeking Jehovah Yahweh our God. And then this one is coming from, let's just have it as a national fasting day freely without occasion or cohesion. Citizens can pray and fast in their dominations or communities. That applies even to people of other faith like Muslims. Okay. This one is coming from Winfred Chilu, and is saying it's good idea but need to improve the way of the Patriotic Front we are conducting prayers. Let's give neutral playing field and invite all players to be involved. When time for reconciliation and forgiveness comes, people should give chance to do so. So that is the comments on whether the National Day of Prayer and Fasting should be removed or maintained. And also we're having a topic of discussion. The citizen, Mr. Joseph Busenga, who is also a former Zanasu and Unzasu president, and also the legal scorer, came through, and we're just having a discussion what would happen, the consequences, and also what the procedure is if immunity of Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu is removed, him being the former head of state. Quite a number of things I have learned. Yes. It's a procedure.
It is.
It's a procedure.
It was a very informative interview. Very well done, by the way, Precious.
Thank you. Thank you. We keep learning every day. We keep learning every day. And also, I'm just hoping that conclusions will be done. It's just, it's one of those things, like the way the Bill 10 went in and out of Parliament, and also how people were fighting back and forth to get it through, and also others were fighting to actually get rid of it. When the votes came, the turnout was not okay for them because they wanted the Bill 10 to pass through. There are some clauses, I took time to actually go through the Bill 10. There are some clauses that were okay and that were not okay. So I feel, I'm just hoping it doesn't come back.
Yeah, true. Just to highlight from the interview which you just had, how we mentioned that you need to have the prima facie case proved with overwhelming evidence, and also the representation in Parliament as well. That was some very informative stuff.
Okay, so now we have come to the end of the show. Would like to thank everyone that actually came through via phone calls and also a Facebook platform, and not forgetting you that actually took the time to actually sit and watch the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. Thank you so much for coming through. From me, Precious Mzea Sakaleji, Michael Chota, Elijah, and Isaac Chifita on the other side. And on behalf of Camnet TV crew, it's have a beautiful day and thank you for watching.